Good evening and welcome back to Sports Talk ATL's college football gambling. Locks, we say it every week, but the season is going by too fast. A little bit of a sleepy week, but there's a lot of intriguing matchups and potential for upset. We'll start on Thursday with Syracuse going to undefeated Pittsburgh, with Pittsburgh being a 6-point favorite. Anybody? And no takers? Okay.
The Pittsburgh luck can't keep going. I'll say that.
I agree. I think Syracuse. I do think Syracuse has a good shot.
I don't know if this will be up, but I'm strongly considering Jacksonville State against Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State is very bad. I like Jacksonville State in the spot, throwing that one out there.
We got Louisville minus 7.5 against BC. Louisville 4-3, sneaky good 4-3 team, but big loss to Miami this past weekend. Weird spot.
I like Boston College here a lot, actually. Yeah, you said it's an interesting spot for Louisville, who's played kind of a lot of highly emotional games. How do they respond last week after that Miami game? But I just think they might be kind of done. And I'm not a huge Jeff Brom guy. I like what Bill O'Brien's doing. I like Boston College. I think Boston College keeps us really close and possibly wins. I'm not going to worry about Boston College last week. They got blown out by Virginia Tech, but 3 first-half turnovers. It was kind of a weird game. I'm throwing that out the window. But Castellanos is back. I like him a lot. He's been good. And we saw Cam Ward last week against Louisville extended a ton of plays with his legs. That's going to be a huge thing. Kevin Jennings for SMU did it against Louisville too. So I think Castellanos' legs are huge here. I really like Boston College. It's a great spot too. They're well rested, everything like that. So I like the Eagles.
The Fighting Matt Ryans.
We got another big game on Friday, too, at 10:30, a game with huge playoff implications. UNLV, a 3.5-point dog against Boise State at home.
I think I'll just enjoy this one, but should be a great one.
I am going to go UNLV. Both of these teams are, I think, either 6-1 against the spread or 5-1. I think 6-1 against the spread. I don't know Boise State. No, I think they both are. Both of them are.
Is it?
Yeah. And obviously Boise State took Oregon to the brink. Public is all over Boise State because they're fun. Heisman, they took Oregon to the brink, but obviously nobody believes that Oregon team is the same Oregon team today. I'm going to go UNLV on a strict fade the public play.
Boise State 3-2-1 against the spread, and UNLV 5-2 against the spread.
I
read it from a gambling account, so that guy's
fake.
Yeah,
that guy's also undefeated this college football season.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yes.
USC, a Friday, 11 o'clock game. What are we going to be doing Friday night? Watching college football. USC and Rutgers, a Big Ten showdown. Classic.
Got their poo-poo stuff.
I took USC team total over here at 34.5. I think I don't know how much pride is left in that program with Lincoln Riley. There's a lot of questions being asked to him right now. But if they care at all, they should come out and score a lot. Rutgers has been a paper tiger recently, and they're giving up a ton of points. I legitimately see 35 from USC at halftime, I think.
Where are they? Where is that?
USC.
Okay.
Another game, dude. There's a lot of fun games. Like,
some good
there may not be these like crazy matchups, but like Navy and Notre Dame is super intriguing. I mean, Navy has been an absolute wagon all season. I mean, just a wagon against the spread. Notre Dame, I don't think they're a very good team, but this 13 points and everybody's on Navy.
I'm probably going to take Navy. Just out of this is just good versus evil. Let me get the Naval Academy. I'm gonna see if it'll run. I'm gonna see if it'll run up to 14.
Yeah,
buy it up to 14.
This is one of those weeks where the public, last 2 weeks, the public has destroyed, and it's gonna come back eventually. It's gonna come back. So, it's a pendulum. It swings. I think this might be the week where, everybody's darlings are upset, and I'm afraid it might be Navy, Notre Dame. I'm going to wait, see if it'll come down more, because like you said, everybody's on Navy. And if I can get it to come down a little bit more, I see 12.5 here, but on my book, it's 11.5. So I'm going to keep waiting for it to come down.
Yeah, this line only is going to go down, I think.
Yeah.
With everyone taking Navy.
Definitely.
Georgia Tech and Virginia Tech, 10 points. Hokies favored at home.
Yeah, I hate that.
Haynes King. We don't know what's going on with Haynes King. That's the big.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot bet on Georgia Tech. I was waiting to see what was going to happen last week in Atlanta, but And I was optimistic. I didn't bet him, even with Haynes King. That backup quarterback cannot play college football. So if Haynes King is playing, I wouldn't mind, you laying the points there. But if that backup's in, that guy has no business on a college football field.
I will be laying the points if Haynes King is out. So
yes.
I agree.
Yes. I like
Virginia
that.
and UNC. Virginia, huge cover against Clemson last week.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What an absolutely sell job. I mean, we're fighting for covers. Like, I thought I had that in the bag with Clemson covering. I mean, Virginia just didn't give up.
I mean, it was on the spread the entire game, but that last 5 minutes of that game was some of the craziest cover football I've ever watched. You had Clemson go down and score to go up 24, I believe. Virginia comes down and scores to what looks like the garbage time touchdown to win it with about 3 or 4 minutes left. And then all of a sudden, Clemson puts Klubnik back in, and Klubnik throws a 50-yard touchdown pass after an onside kick. And then Virginia scores on the second play of their next drive to cover again. It was there was like no points for Virginia there for about 3 quarters, and then all of a sudden they scored 2 touchdowns in a minute.
Yeah.
Nebraska and Ohio State. Give me the Cornhuskers. No Ohio State football team should be favored by 25.5. Not this one, at least.
You skipped Washington and Indiana. Anybody got anything on that?
And I did skip it. I mean, Indiana's a powerhouse. I don't know if this is the week to bet on them because I feel like you're late to the party, but Indiana has been a fun team to watch.
I will be the martyr who will take Washington +7.
I was about to say, I like Washington here.
It's more of a spot bet too, I think, off of a great win for them last week. And game day's coming now to Bloomington. There's going to be a lot of emotion. Rourke is out, and we kind of have the questions about the backup. Washington, I still think Washington is kind of one of the more sneaky, underrated teams because every single one of their losses, you can kind of talk about it and say why they could have won. Like last week, they weren't going to beat Iowa. Last week, they lost 40-16, but they outgained Iowa, and they actually played a really good game. I think Washington's not too bad. They can score points on Indiana here, I think. It's scary to get in front of Stignetti, but I'm going to take the spot. They're off a bye. I'm going to go for Washington, a touchdown.
I'm going to take it too.
Ohio State and Nebraska, 25.5. Like I said, give me Nebraska. This total is also at 48, which tells you they think it's going to be like 38-10.
That's a great point. Great point.
I think Nebraska's defense is a lot better than they played against Indiana. I think Ohio State has real problems on the offensive side of the ball. If Irle can give you anything, if he can just give you a couple of plays, I think they can cover the spread. I actually think this game could end up being close. I don't think Nebraska's as bad as they look this week.
They had 5 turnovers last week, Nebraska too. Like they should have had a lot more points than just the 7 they put up. So that backs your point.
I'm going to go on the other side of things because of similar reasons. Just on the other side, that I don't think Ohio State is as bad defensively as Oregon maybe made it seem like that defense is still good. I think Oregon and Dylan Gabriel's offense are finally just starting to click. That Ohio State offense or defense is still raw. The question is Will Howard. I'm going to just go out on a limb and say, he played pretty good in that Oregon game. Obviously everyone's going to remember the boneheaded slide to run out the time. But, for the most part, he played pretty good. And Ohio State's coming off a bye. I kind of like Ohio State to blow them out. But in that same breath, is Nebraska as bad as they were last week against Indiana? Probably not.
I just think that's a shocking number of points. And the fact that the public's on Ohio State.
Dylan Irle, though, is so capable. You say that the 3 turnovers, Larsen, but Dylan Irle is, a freshman through and through. That guy makes incredibly talented plays only a few guys can make. And then he makes some plays where you're like, dude, what the hell are you doing? So,
yeah, he does. He does.
I got a feeling we're going to be talking about that Nebraska game. It's how the hell did Ohio State almost lose? I think it's going to be that close.
That would be great.
Oklahoma and Mississippi.
I'm going to take Ole Miss. I'm going to take Ole Miss. Let me get I'm doing a pulse check on Oklahoma this week. They might be dead, and if they're dead, that's that's a well you can go back to.
Yeah, I don't really know what to think about Oklahoma. I feel like I've been one of the very few Brent Venables defenders because he always coaches a good defense. I think he was dealt a tough hand this season with pretty much the entire offense, including the coordinator leaving. But that stuff last week was absolutely mind-boggling. He played musical chairs at the quarterback position like an idiot. And I know he's going with Jackson Arnold this week, but like Jackson Arnold was talking about like, I'll do anything to help the team, but, red shirt comment. It's like, what the hell is going on? I think Jake's pulse check is probably right on the money.
I'm going Oklahoma here. I think Jackson Arnold's by far their best quarterback option, so I like the fact that he's starting. I think Mississippi has some real problems. Their biggest issue is protecting the quarterback. You saw that against LSU. You saw that against Kentucky. Oklahoma able to get after the quarterback a little bit.
The biggest issue is their coach can't fucking focus, but that's another conversation.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. But I think Oklahoma's defense can make things a little difficult, and Jackson Arnold makes enough plays to where it's like a 14-point win for Ole Miss.
How many points do you need from Oklahoma to cover this, Chase?
How many points do I need?
For Oklahoma.
I mean, I said I got Oklahoma plus 20.
No, but I'm saying how many points does Oklahoma need to score to cover plus 20? 10? They lose 30 to 10?
14. I would say 14.
I think 2 scores.
I guess the over is
probably
the play in this one.
2 scores. I think Oklahoma's defense has been pretty decent all year.
It is. Yeah. It's a decent defense.
And I do think Ole Miss has some serious problems protecting the quarterback. But then again,
I think this is one of those games we could turn on later, and it's 56 to 7.
It could be.
Actually, yeah. I think this is one where Ole Miss might be, they're coming off a loss against LSU, and it's like, hey guys, we actually got to wake up, and they come out and they flex on them a little bit. A program that simply doesn't want to play this for the rest of the year.
They definitely do. Listen, they're definitely do, and and you're right. It's a pulse check for Venables, Oklahoma, and that entire program. I'm going to say they play. Listen, I don't love it, but I lean the plus 20. Charlotte and Memphis. Tulane in North Texas.
Suspicious number here.
That game's going over, by the way.
Yeah, that game. Those two teams score a lot. Tulane's been over. Buffalo and Ohio. Ugh.
I have some nasty action later. This is not it.
Arkansas and Mississippi State. Hey, give me Mississippi State.
Hey, how about that sharp play? Oh, I didn't say it on the stream, but fucking Mississippi State 18 against A&M. What an outrageous bet! I was just like 18. That feels like a lot. Jeff Levy's got the boys believing down there in Starkville. I'm also taking Mississippi State.
They've played well 3 games in a row.
Yep.
3 games in a row now.
Plays like that offense. It's clear why they hired him in the first place. I'm probably going to buy it up to a point, but I think I'm starting to believe in Mississippi State.
Arkansas has Ole Miss and Texas coming up.
And they just lost a big game to LSU, which was their homecoming. This game sandwiched in between, going on the road to Mississippi State, who, even though they suck, that'll be a good environment, especially for Arkansas. Feeling like they have a chance to win.
And Jeff just sent out an email to the student body, basically firing up the student body. So they're going to be alive for this one.
Georgia
State, Larsen, this is big for your SEC. You're under half of an SEC win.
It is. Actually, no, I have 1.5. I'm good. I'm chill. 1.5. We're not going to win 2 SEC games. No way.
Mississippi State,
Georgia State, and App State. Temple and ECU.
ECU live dog, fired coach. Maybe anybody?
That was weird. Yeah, I don't know.
You mean -7?
Yeah, they're favorites.
Oh. I expect it to be a favorite a week after firing their coach.
That's pretty crazy.
Temple is terrible.
Yeah,
Temple's awful.
Central Michigan and Miami, Ohio. Oh, here's an ugly one. Stanford and Wake Forest.
Yeah. I actually really want to take Wake Forest here. I don't know if I can. I'm a little bit worried because this is their second straight road trip. They went to UConn. Now they're going to Palo Alto. That's a lot of travel. But Stanford, holy corpse. This team is absolutely lifeless. They're not competitive at all, and they're giving up north of 40 every game. I think Wake should be able to score, but I'm something's scaring me off here, but it's Wake or nothing.
Kent State and Western Michigan. UTSA and Tulsa. And then we have a battle of the teams that beat USC, Maryland and Minnesota.
I want to take Minnesota. Is that disgusting? I don't know. Minnesota's off a bye. Maryland's making the trip off of the win.
Is this going to be the sad, Vernon Gary have to call this game of the week?
Oh, no, this is on Fox. No, that's Illinois, Oregon for Vernon Gary.
It's still sad. It's still sad. All right, we got rat line of the week here.
Yeah, this may be rat line of the year.
+2 against UCF, who has just been terrible all season. Just awful.
I backed off of BYU because I'm going to let that number keep running.
I'm going to eat the cheese, and it's on the same basis. The public's been hammering Vegas and for the past 2 weeks, and everybody is on BYU again because you're right. This line makes absolutely no sense. Gus Malzahn's got some locker room issues going on with that guy transferring.
Not anymore.
Oh, he's back?
No, not anymore locker room issues. Those have been solved.
Well, that guy transferred like 2 days ago and came out and was like, blah, 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 sucks, and, told me to leave.
Well, is this where I go into my UCF monologue here?
Go for it.
I'm on UCF, so before you say it, I just don't want to be like, oh, he's just riding Larsen.
Okay, good. No, let's go UCF. This BYU luck box magical tour has to stop at some point. I don't know when it's going to end. They cannot keep getting away with this. These games are incredible. Every turnover and bounce goes their way. They do have the Holy War coming up. Important to note. They got to go to Orlando. Crazy trip there. And UCF, who was a corpse a few weeks ago, they benched KJ Jefferson. Shocking that their luck changed after they did that. They are much better with this guy, Ja'Cory Brown, at quarterback, who is a lethal and tremendous runner. They've got 2 great running backs. We've talked about them all season. But BYU is so vulnerable against running teams. And I don't think anyone pays attention to it because they just pull these Hail Marys in these games out of their ass for no reason. Avery Johnson had 80 yards rushing early in the game before they had to abandon the game plan because they got down. Sawyer Robertson ran on them for Baylor. And then Rangel, the backup quarterback for Oklahoma State, who I thought played a really good game before he got hurt, he ran for 80 yards. If he stays healthy, they win the game. Ollie Gordon had a great game. He got hurt. They ran for basically 7 yards per carry, almost 300 rushing yards. And now you're going to get UCF, who's running it down everyone's throat, 150 yards from their quarterback last week against Iowa State. He ran for 90 against Cincinnati. Like, they have totally changed since they've been to KJ. And I think at home, we get a Malzahn masterclass here. I expect a huge running day from UCF. The line's telling you the story. This BYU gimmick has to stop. And I agree.
I was on Oklahoma State last week. Go me.
Ridiculous.
But also, that was the perfect microcosm of this show where I shoot from the hip because of something I saw, and you actually give reason and logic behind your pick.
There we go. What a duo.
James Madison and USM.
James Madison. I did call this on the show last week. I said that was the most suspicious line of the week. Georgia Southern at home said you didn't want to go into Paulson Stadium and play, and they got their asses kicked. So yeah, JMU, bit of a bounce back spot here, though. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran off on them.
That's kind of crazy. You're just going to skip over Eastern Michigan, Akron. I don't know if anybody has a pick there.
I think our things are messed
Eastern Michigan and Akron,
because I'm all over the place.
Akron. I'll make this quick because no one cares, but don't be fooled by records here. Because Eastern Michigan has played really badly and gotten wins, and they give up a ton of yards. And Akron, who is 1-6, actually has played kind of well and played one of the hardest G5 schedules in the country. They hang around as a 17-point dog to Bowling Green. They blew a 17-0 lead to Western Michigan despite having 500 yards. This is disgusting, but Akron is peaking at the right time. I've never said that before. Eastern Michigan has a huge game next week. EMU's got Toledo. It's an overlook at Akron. Akron's off a bye, and Akron has hung with EMU the last 2 years in one-possession games. This is going to be the Zips, baby. The Zips at home.
Where else are you going to get this type of analysis?
I'm on Akron.
Where else are you getting this from?
Oklahoma State and Baylor.
Baylor was a good call last week. Baylor might be back. Speaking to teams that look dead and kind of have a pulse.
Texas Tech and TCU.
Speaking of teams that don't have a pulse.
Speaking of teams that are dead. Yeah, Texas Tech and TCU.
When does Sonny Dykes get fired?
Rice in Connecticut.
Never.
He took them to a national championship. That's enough for a while.
That's crazy.
NIU and Ball State. How about Ball State hanging with Vandy last
week? Ball State. The first time I bet on Vandy all year long, I think, Ball State.
You bet on you.
I warned you.
You didn't.
You didn't listen.
It was like 30. It was like 30, and I was like, Vandy's favored by 30. There must not be another team playing. And I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna take it.
You didn't listen to the show, man.
You didn't listen.
No, I missed it.
Ball State in the under was free.
Oh, I missed it.
Alabama and Missouri. Give me Alabama.
Who do you trust here?
Two of the biggest disappointments in the SEC.
I trust that. I trust
the two biggest disappointments. I mean,
I trust Alabama here.
I couldn't agree. Missouri. I guess expectations matter, but Missouri is the worst team in the SEC, or the worst team ever, maybe, in the college football playoff era that had preseason college football playoff hype. Somehow have only lost one. They are a terrible, terrible football team. Top to bottom. Defense, they're missing Blake Baker. They don't have guys on that side of the ball. Brady Cook ends up sucking. I thought he was going to be good this year. Eli Drinkowitz is exactly who we thought he was, a fucking dork. I mean, they suck. They suck.
Yeah.
If Alabama loses this game, hypothetically, like, let's just – I mean, it's only 14 – what are those conversations starting?
Nick Saban will be on the sideline for it.
Who got – what's his face? Lincoln Riley leaving, and then what's his face coming and coaching Oklahoma in the bowl game?
Bob Stoops.
Yeah, Saban come in and finish out the season with Bama until they can hire somebody new.
Saban comes back, beats LSU, and runs the table after a loss to Missouri. They're in the playoffs.
And he's back.
Oregon and Illinois, 21.5, huge spread. Illinois, public all over Illinois.
Illinois has been really good to me this year. I feel like 3 touchdowns is probably too much, but this could be a case where a superior opponent just ragdolls them. By the way, my pick of the year last year, Purdue, Oregon, first half under, easy. You guys I hope you guys were listening.
Easy.
I
kind of want to lay it with Oregon here almost.
I'm going to lay it with Oregon. Oregon's a good football team now.
Oregon's not a good football team.
They're turning into who we thought they were going to be.
I think Oregon's garbage, but that's another conversation for a team when they're not playing Illinois, who also sucks.
Yeah, fuck Illinois. That first half, I missed another one of Gulf's bets. Illinois first half, and I took them full game, and Purdue ended up coming back and forcing overtime. And I was watching it with my Illinois friend, and he goes, "Yeah, dude, I could have told you Purdue's like some weird kryptonite for Illinois or something."
That was an all-timer. I don't know how that happened.
Miss that.
Iowa and Northwestern. Jesus Christ.
Northwestern. I don't know.
Bowling Green and Toledo.
I don't know.
Oregon State and Cal.
Cal has let the season slip. It's sad to see.
Texas and Vanderbilt. That's a fun one.
I think a lot of people are going to be on Vanderbilt, but look for Texas to have a get-right game here. I hate to say it, but that's the reality we're living with right now.
I also think it's tough I think this is just a tough game to bet. I mean, like, I want Vandy to win. I want them to, like, come out and play this game close. I think I agree with you on Texas, but I could also see it's not enough to bet on them because, like, it still is Vandy a sleepy spot coming off a huge game against Georgia, and they got some big games coming up.
It's another one of those things that it's David versus Goliath, and nobody wants to root for Goliath.
You do what you did against Ball State. I'm never betting for you ever again.
It was the great sandwich spot, to be fair. They're going to be
That's what she said, but I don't care.
There's one trend here that's crazy for both teams that I took, and that's the first half under. I took at 28 because Vandy does what they does with their option attack. They've done it all year, and that clock runs. But Texas's last 4 games have all gone under in the first half. 3 of those 4 have gone under 28. 4 of the last 5 Vandy games have gone under in the first half, and all 4 of those went under 28. So these games are like 14-10, 14-7 halftime scores in Vandy games. I think something similar happened, so I took that.
I like it. ULM and South Alabama. New Mexico and Colorado State.
Did y'all see the New Mexico game go over last week? Like, what was the total? 77?
Oh, my God.
Went over? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Miami and FSU.
I'm on Miami this game. This is similar to the Oklahoma. I'm poking the dead body with a stick to see if you're really dead. This is a rivalry game. This is one of those things to where it's like you think Miami is actually, Miami's played a bunch of close games in a row. It's one of the things where, like, does this continue? No, I think they go out and try to embarrass them. We saw they didn't let up against Florida. Granted, that was the first game of the year. But Miami didn't really seem to slow down in that game. They were over talking to all the recruits. Like, I think this game means a little something to them. I think they'll rub their nose in it. Florida State's not good. They just have tremendous issues at the quarterback position, and Miami's got the pass rushers. Miami's got the pass rushers to make this miserable for them.
You know what's crazy is y'all are 1 week early on betting FSU. I'm not going to bet it, but I could make the case. Miami's defense could make Ball State look like, a championship.
They actually played, and it was 66.
Ball State scored 0 points.
Miami's defense is god awful, though.
I get your point, though.
It is so bad. And 3 touchdowns is a lot. Even just a sneaky backdoor cover. Miami's putting the backups in. I don't know. I'm not gonna bet it, but their defense is so fucking bad. It's the only reason Cam Ward's going to win the Heisman is because he's got to put up 500 yards and 4 touchdowns every single week.
Where have we seen that before?
Their defense is bad, but how bad is Florida State's quarterback play?
Yeah, FSU. I don't know if FSU can score, and I agree with Jake. I think Miami's gonna. I mean, they don't let their foot off the pedal. I mean, they will throw for 4 quarters against Florida State.
And this is a huge. This game means something to them. They are not going to let up on them. So give me Miami,
especially trying to get Cam Ward as Heisman.
True.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins Stadium. Dude, get a fucking
The good news is if you take Miami, that any questionable call will go your way, too. It's another good reason.
Yeah. No shit.
Wyoming and Utah State. Oh, poor Cowboys.
Yeah,
poor Wyoming, man.
Troy and Arkansas State. Here's a team that sucks. Arizona. Minus 3.5.
Both teams might suck. Yeah.
Both of them suck.
They both suck, but I'm just saying Arizona, I think, I was a little higher on coming into the year. Utah and Houston.
Well, Neil Brown, we were not wrong on Neil Brown. We were just early. Go on.
Yeah, just like me and vegetables. Michigan State and Michigan. Holy hell, Michigan. What a terrible team they are.
We were so dead. I don't know what you guys said about Michigan. I was so dead on
I took Illinois.
I was so dead on the money. I'm talking about preseason, about Michigan being a 4-loss team in the preseason. I mean, they're all
Penn State and Wisconsin.
Well, I was going to say, I'm taking Sparty +4 there. I think Sparty wins outright. Yeah. Better quarterback, better coach. They played really well last week. It'll be a similar game plan in terms of defending the run. They can't throw.
I agree.
How far they have fallen. Michigan, losing to Michigan State.
Their little brothers in the
they haven't yet.
Penn State and Wisconsin. This is a fun one.
I kind of like Penn State, but I hope Wisconsin wins.
I have no idea what to think. No idea what to think here. No idea. I mean, I can make the case. I can make the case for either Wisconsin. The metrics recently really like Wisconsin more than USC. Penn State was minus 3.5 against USC. They should probably be similar at Wisconsin. On the other hand, Wisconsin hasn't played anybody. We've seen them play good offenses and they got torched. So it's like,
this isn't a good offense, so that's the good news.
I think Penn State can do more than Rutgers and Northwestern did, but I don't know.
I mean,
maybe
it's not saying much.
Maybe. Here's the real game of the week, game of the entire slate. LSU traveling to Kyle Field, 2.5-point underdogs against Texas A&M, who have won 3 in a row in this series at home. One of the first times in this series that ever the SEC has been on the line. It's the biggest game probably in this series. Underrated rivalry. I think it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say in honor of the 77-71, was that it? I'm going to take the over.
Fuck,
that's a great idea.
I'm going Tigers.
I'll say this. I was much more worried about the Arkansas game than the A&M game. And if Garrett Nussmeier just protects the football, I think LSU wins without a sweat. I think their defense is for real. Connor Wegman isn't this sexy quarterback that's going to, beat you in a ton of different ways. He's a gritty guy. The A&M offense is obviously better with him, but LSU's defense might be for real. Arkansas's offense obviously sucks, but LSU's defense might be for real. And if Garrett Nussmeier just puts it all together with the running game in 1 week, they're going to score 56 points. And I don't think, and obviously a lot has to go right for that to happen. I just don't think A&M's offense is capable of really, doing that to this LSU defense. But Garrett Nussmeier is Brett Favre, and he could have 3 turnovers, and we could be in a fucking dogfight.
I just think LSU's got me feeling a little bit some type of way.
Yeah.
I just think this team's got something going for it too, moving in a positive direction. I'm not saying A&M doesn't, and this has been a very tough matchup. I mean, if you're just a neutral fan, but being that I am an LSU Tiger fan, and I'm going to look for any reason to bet the LSU Tigers, I think this is a good spot to bet them. They are
stay away.
Skating away for pussies.
Yep.
We're going to fucking beat that ass.
Well, next.
No one else has anything to say? You're scared? Yeah, that's what I thought.
No.
I just said I had the over.
Nobody wants to take the Aggies. Pussies. Kentucky and Auburn.
I got the under.
I like
Stinky
Auburn.
game.
See, I want to take the under. I'm worried that this will happen. It'll happen like it did last week with Kentucky, Florida, where you have like 2 pick sixes and a fumble at the goal line that gets returned. And
Well, it sounds like it won't happen again. Surely it won't happen twice.
I accurately called the Auburn throwing an ill-timed interception will lead to the over, and I think that is what we're going to have happen again. So I'm staying away.
Kansas and Kansas State.
I like the Jayhawks here. I'm going to do the gross thing. Take the Jayhawks. Their offense, their defense is horrible, but their offense is getting better, and they care about this game. And 10 points is too much.
Here's a game. Here's a game that I
Larsen.
love, and it's just jumping on the pony bandwagon. I've loved SMU. They've been a wagon ever since that tough start to the season. We've been calling Duke frauds. He got a pretty split here on the public, 12.5 points. I think SMU just beats the dog shit out of Duke.
Me too.
Ponies. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad pick at all.
Ponies.
I don't think it's a bad pick at all.
Yeah, Duke is the metrics rank Duke 70th right now. The metrics see right through the Duke BS, and SMU I think is top 15 recently. They've been playing very well. SMU blowout.
I want to ride them. They're like one of those teams where you get a team that's on a hot streak and it just feels like they can't lose, kind of like we've seen with Navy and Army. That's kind of what SMU feels like they're in the middle of. San Jose State and Fresno. Cincinnati and Colorado.
I would be careful here. Cincinnati has been a very, I don't know how to put this politely, bipolar team. You really don't know what you're going to get out of them. Colorado, I feel like, has been better, but I would be very wary of laying any points with anybody on this game.
I want to take Cincy in this game. I'm not going to yet, but I really want to. They are 2 plays away from being undefeated. Cincinnati. They are sneaky good.
I kind of like the over.
Washington State and San Diego State. Washington State, good football team out there that no one's paying attention to.
Yeah, and San Diego State's horrible. I don't know. Nothing there.
And then you got a classic midnight battle between Hawaii and Nevada. Pick 'em. I mean, could you get any better? A little pick 'em at midnight after 73 beers deleted. You're desperate to get under your bookie balance. You're just like Hawaii or Nevada, flip a coin, pick 'em, baby. Anybody? No takers? I bet you. I know one of you sickos is going to be betting that at 12 o'clock. And I bet
it'll be you.
Yeah, you're the most likely candidate.
Yeah, it might be me. You never know. That could be the end of my parlay. Oh, let's just throw Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's like now I got 17K. Like I'm watching sideways. All right. That wraps up our show. Hey, let's go win some money. I think we got a good week. Underdogs, I think, could be barking. I think this could be a good upset week in college football.
Ponies.